Hi friends, this is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Numenera, WUBRG campaign season 1. At this point, Bearcat has gone back into the time chamber, the timeless chamber, right? Built by the Sunaks, and he is making his way from the third age to the fifth age to the seventh age to the ninth age, right? Alien invasion, to the time of magic, to the Nano Knights, the time of the nanos, right? And then finally to this the ninth age, this far future where no humans exist and only 5 species now populate the Earth. Very unusual, right? And so at this point, the Age of Magic has just finished, and so basically, Wentworth, Bearcat, Blackout, in his Bearcat memory, actually in his Bearcat form, he snaps back to the Servant. Okay, so this is in the ninth age. The Servant are now all surrounding Bearcat again, and they have witnessed with him the Sunak. They have seen him as the Sunak's witness. They've seen him as the Herald of the Blue Flame in the Age of Magic, and now he's already committed. And they're like, okay, take us to the time of the Nano Knight. We want to see you during the time of the Nano. So he puts his face back into the antler bowl with this illuminated fluid. And then the gold player and I, as the dungeon master, snap to the Nano Age. So this is the 7th age. And this is the Nano Age, right? Now, where exactly are we in the Nano Age? So this is in the year 620,000 in the human, 620,000 AD, right? So huge advance forward. And if you remember, the ninth age in Numenera is actually 1 billion years in the future, right? So this is 620,000 years forward. And so let's talk about the Nano Age. So basically at this point, Bearcat, actually Blackout is remembering with the Servant, and the Servant are going along with him on these memories, seeing his path as a hero of destiny through these different times in the Numenera Age, right? And so we go to his time as a Nano Knight, and this is when he is serving in the time of nanos, right? So what causes the Numenera? Well, when we started the campaign, the answer was, is it aliens? Is it magic? Is it nanites, right? And we decided the answer was all in different ages. So this is the Age of Nanites. So one of the things that was interesting is I explained to the gold player, I was like, okay, so we're going to advance you to the Nano Knight, to the Nanite. So Blackout is the Nano Knight, Knight. But he is that in the time of the nanites, right? So this is the idea that nanoparticles will be able to remake everything and anything, right? So what does the Nanite Age look like? Well, in my Numenera campaign, it looks exactly like what it is the Numenera Age, right? So when I started the campaign, I was very daunted. So I had to get up to speed on the cipher system, right? Then I had to get up to speed on the Numenera world. And when I read the Numenera world, oh my gosh, it felt so inaccessible, right? Like, and I was just like, well, this is Dungeons and Dragons, but it's completely freed from any type of medieval European fantasy frame, right? And when I started, I was just like, man, I don't feel comfortable with this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, right? And when I was reading it, I was just like, this is, it feels wrong, right? It felt wrong to me, okay? So we started, and I started with we started with this cleaned up Numenera world where there's only 5 species, right? Which was Blackout. And that worked out really well because he's literally the only human on the planet. And so I don't need to deal with the Eon Priests and the Convergence and all this wildness that is Numenera, right? And it really helped. It really helped for me to kind of simplify the world and just have to learn the rule system while not also having to master this really deep, very esoteric lore, right? So we separated those two things. But now, I'd run, the initial Numenera world in the 9th Age. Then I had run the 3rd Age. Then I had run the 5th Age. So that was the soon next Alien Invasion, and then the Age of Magic. And finally, I had weeks to get ready, and I felt ready to run Numenera. So that's where we'll start when I pick this up again. So Numenera, we're picking up in the Numenera book in the 7th Age, right? It's not the last part of the campaign, but in the 7th Age, we pick back up, and I told the gold player, when we start again, we're playing in the Numenera book with the Numenera lore. It's Numenera straight, right? And that was really interesting because it allowed me to take that setting and make it a sub-setting within the whole campaign. And it just really simplified things and made me be able to approach it. Because I have to say, Numenera is absolutely brilliant. The idea of freeing Dungeons and Dragons from its medieval European fantasy setting, I'm shocked how cool Numenera has been. But it was daunting, and it took a while to get ready to really run the Numenera world. The lore of it is daunting. All of that is my humble opinion. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.